I was standing in the bathroom getting ready for this session, and I already felt, for some reason, there's like a lot of spiders came, and I saw you like in some sort of um I don't know how this term in English is. It's almost like little lines or mucus kind of like surrounding you from head down. I wonder if it has something to do with that. And then you started telling me, because I usually connect before.
Okay.
When I worked before, was the woman. I was a telepath in the sessions. I would usually connect the day before the session, and then at some
Oh,
point she stopped telling me even the name of the client, because it's like I can feel,
mhm.
Okay, well, we can start if you want. You ready?
Okay. I just have something to tell you just
Okay.
before we start. Okay. I was diagnosed with cancer probably 2 years ago, but I don't know if this has any relevance, but when I was about 10 years old, I'm going to say, I shared a room with my two other sisters. So we were probably 8, 9, and 10, I'm going to say, about that age. And it was late one night and we were sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And we woke up in the middle of the night and we heard a strange noise. So we looked out our bedroom window and there was a huge craft, like a spaceship, and it was like your typical like a saucer shape. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing lights all around it, and I remember seeing like little windows all around it. And we still talk about it to this day because and so I always wondered, like, did anything happen? Like that was, and it was up close, like it was like literally in our backyard, like
Right.
hovering above the ground. So I wondered if anything happened. I don't have memory of it, or
And you and your sister don't remember
we,
if something strange after you saw it? No.
nothing.
No missing time or anything like this?
We wouldn't know because we were. It was we as far.
Little.
All I remember is seeing it go, the spaceship go up. Like we watched it for a few minutes and then it went up and it
Yeah.
basically like flew over our house.
Right. Yeah, it usually
So
shows up like this out of the blue.
so I don't know if that was it and we just went back to bed or if something did happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So anyway, I just thought I
we'll
would
see.
say that and see if
Okay, well, let's start.
okay.
Let's see. I mean, I can look at this particular
Okay.
situation. There are a lot of little tiny lights around you, and they keep moving. And they start from this area up, and they're constantly going around your head. And I get this. There is some massive implant. It's actually it's on your shoulders. It's like a plate. It's like a big plate, and it's pinned on the sides, like a big rectangular plate. Is you're like fixated in it because there's like a novel cut out, and your body squeezed inside, and it's right here.
Hmm.
Just go back. Spiders have to do with this, but it's post factum. It's not the original cause, because I do see it's like, but they are using the situation. I see you as a little tiny light, and you're coming like from seventh dimensions. You're dropping to three real quick. So dimensions, it's basically like layers of light fields. And I see number 7 and you're just dropping fast as if it was something pulling you down. I just see a lot of horses. Very interesting horses because their hair is wavy, like in waves. It's very thick. It's almost like curly. There's a lot of ancient, I think it's Macedonia that came to me. First Mesopotamia, then Macedonia came to me, and I see like a long faced bearded, and you're there with a little baby. It's your son, and they're trying to take away your baby. Looking at you now, you look clean to me. There's nothing attached. And you make a deal. There is a there's a so you're calling like all the forces of light, and I see an angel, but it's not an angel. It's a big, there are aliens in Italian they're called testacore, because head as a heart. It's kind of like a heart shaped. It's very big, forehead, wrinkled skin, a light kind of milky skin. And that's what I see was a big black dark eyes. And he's the one who is posing, masquerading for that. I just see a hologram. Basically, just he's in a cylinder of a hologram, and you see an angel. Your subconscious part. It's an interesting kind of, which is really interesting because you're wearing some ragged kind of clothing, but inside, like underneath, if I look underneath, you're hiding this white silk with golden little pompons on the sides, clothes. I think you are running away from some castle. There's some just castle or something, some fort behind you, square, and you're running away, and the horses were running after you, and they're taking your son. And that's when you ask the angel to help you. And I see there's it's just like a hurricane or something came. Just like a tornado on the left of your shoulder comes, and they're scared. They're running away. And they dropped your son right into your arms. He's really little, like, maybe 7 months old, something like this. You're daughter of some king and queen there. Starting was in, it's like an M. I keep seeing letter M and L. L is the name of the king, for sure. LU. There's just strange things because I also see a lot of octopi kind of beings, AI generated, but I don't see their heads. I just see their, like a platform with lots of legs. And all of them are trying to. So basically, you came from, there's some stargate that above that place. That stargate is used by some, you can say star seeds, but it's not like that. You were just energy. You basically looked like a star with a lot of multiple it's not a typical star how it looks like a spark just coming down, but it came down all the way from your original place where you got separated from the original big spark. And then it's kind of like a fractal of it. And that original big spark is you, but you are the fractal of you. And I don't see it like you've been incarnated in this universe. The only thing that came to me is Andromeda, because you've been there, you visited, but then you left, and you go through this layers. The reason why you fell down is because you wanted to change the events to speed up. You're trying to tell me that there are some things that um, energies like you can speed up. That's all you do. You come to certain it's like certain timelines, and then you can speed up the time, because since time is circular, and you also show that time is like an 8, but also circular, and it changing its shape. It breathes and changes, but it doesn't have the end, because they locked us into this. It's either 8 or like a 0, like a circle. It doesn't matter. And at some point it flips over. And what you thought was white becomes black, and the opposite. It repeats itself, the history repeats itself, but it flips over. And you said that you wanted to flip over is Macedonia times when a lot of giant races came. You say there are 4 giant races of giants came from the stars, and they wanted to everybody like inserts like a timeline, and then you insert your scenario, and each of them wanted to insert their own scenario, but you wanted to push the original humans who were already being genetically modified back into the loop of self realization and self understanding. I see you showing me pictures, like I see a picture you're showing me some dust, just like a hurricane of gray dust going through the universe, and it just hitting Earth badly, and everything's just like the civilization is over. And you're saying that you know the cycle is over, but that was in the middle of the cycle. You were trying to change the outcome and prolong it, because somebody locked in the program of the end of the cycle. But you can unlock it and reverse it. And if it goes like this, like our DNA, that you can just make it straight and running in parallel. And when it runs in parallel, you can exit any time at a soul level, and you can come back. So there's no rough and tough exiting. So basically, those who are showed out, I'm just following from that particular moment where I saw. So you get your son, but you already got that being. You know that being has a certain label. The label has, it's like 2 wings and the oval, and the wings are coming out from the golden pyramid. And You're telling me that now these golden pyramids, these buildings, y- took took away from original humans and started living in or under the ocean, Atlantic Ocean. And soon enough there'll be a flip, and what is above will go below, and what is below will go above. And the process is starting already. And that was your conscious decision to drop from seventh um to third, because the only way to influence the outcome of certain timelines was only through the integration into the royal families existing at that time. But that's when he locks you in. He locks you in and into some sort of now I see it, because before I saw you, it's like when I looked at you, I see you sitting here like you are right now. But then I see your energy sphere and I see this metallic rectangular object that you're boxed in. And it basically it like separates your shoulders from your head and the lower body. It creates a gap. And in that gap, they inserted some, it's like a space filled with yellow gas. Because when I touch it, it's like air. It's not. I thought it was something for some experiments or whatever, but no, it's like And then when I focus on this, it's right at your chest. And then I start going through but it's like a tunnel going to these golden pyramids. There is a big island, and there are golden pyramids. It's in the depths of Atlantic Ocean where nobody's been before. So they used you to create that portal through you by using you as an energetic conductor, because the vibration of the seventh dimension that you had originally corresponds to the golden pyramids. And I clearly see those walking there. The big one, the alien, it's a race. He because you boxed him also. You put him in some sort of like energetic holographic kind of box, a rectangular box right now, and you ask him, and he said, my race is curse. Kur. That's what he said. And why do they came here? Human souls have the different capabilities. Some of them can be used for as portal systems. If you don't have portal systems, you're stuck. You cannot grow, you cannot research, you cannot improve your race, because our race lost its ability to think for themselves, meaning in their head is just, it's not even an implant, it's just a wild thing in their heads. It kind of looks like we have, like the brain, like the way they draw it, but it's very soft tubing system. The curves and curls, but it looks like one big brain that kind of has two parts, and there's no certain division in between. They're connected. And what they take from humans, they use their soul's energy and they use them for portal systems. So basically what they do, because the portal uses energy, and it looks like they keep it open. Like they literally keep it open. So imagine I see your energy body and I don't see that part at all. And that's why your body is trying to compensate it at the physical level. It goes as if you you don't have that part. You don't have anything related to that part, meaning your body's trying to figure out why it's missing a part, an energetic component of a hardwired mechanism that we call the body. And the body has to have all the parts, just like any car has to have all the parts to run perfectly, but yours doesn't. The spiders came later. The spiders came later in the life, in the number 18 life. Go back, that was life 6. That woman was the baby's life 6. At the life 18, the the way what's the word, gotcha, the searching for the witches. There was a search for the witches in the old time. Trying to see where it was. I hear Spanish. I hear Spanish language. You know, it's a territory of Mexico, but yeah, it's a territory of Mexico for sure that came to me. But it's it's where Texas is or something, but it wasn't called Texas because it doesn't. The map is totally different when you look at it. It curves and it's that part is just Mexican part, and it looks very beautiful. He has a lot of huge palm trees, giant palm trees. People are very happy. But then there's the influence from Europe. It's like I hear it started in Italy and all those other countries. Like Italians say, caccia alle streghe, search for the witches, and it just reached everywhere. But behind this, it's different. I see dragons behind it because dragons were interested in using the souls who were very powerful, who use special abilities to control the weather, to heal, to know how to operate energies to use for themselves. Because some of the families of dragons were dying out in etheric, and they needed the etheric parts of those witches to help them out. And that's when the world, I feel like somebody splattering on the world like ink. And I feel like dragons used some portal systems, and they call those portal systems sacred land, and that belongs to them. And nobody can do anything to this land. Like nobody can build houses or build a city. Everything will be falling apart It belongs to them. That part of, because for them they don't see the physical what we see, but they see like, I see everything like just like a field of energy, and the field of energy has different colors to it. It's almost like holographic cubes, which we call conchis. They kind of look like cubes. So let's see the what shows to me is 104 lives. 101 something happened. We go to this one. It looks like you're living in Israel. Ravine. I, I'm not sure if I pronounced it correctly, but it's like you're wearing this big, huge hat, and you have those hairs, and they bring you coins. Everybody brings you something because those giants. Um, I mean, basically, it's like those curs are using you to make people fear you. So you don't belong to yourself at this point. At this point, but before that, from that life, how they got attached to you, they've been working on you, working on you, working on you, and then they figured out finally how to energetically keep you open as an open walking portal, basically for themselves. And because in between lives, they would just here's like, let me go into one of the lives because it's very interesting. They take you to some spaceship. It's flat metallic spaceship that they fly on round. It's pretty flat. And then I see you, it's like a gun machine or something. It moves above your head. It's like a sleeve comes from the ceiling, and it moves around you in pinpoints, like pinpoints with the laser light, and builds up your body, but cuts off that area from shoulders to solar plexus to keep the port. It's as if somebody took a needle and pinned you down the certain way, so you hold the portal open that way. It's just some technology. Because I see lines of it. It's like a holographic lines that keep that energy going. And basically, what happened that if you have a hole like this, all the energy from the other parts of your body is being like pulled to this part because that part is hollow. It's a portal, and portal needs a lot of energy. So they would take 60 up to 68% of your energy to be constantly used. At some point just body just breaks down and gives up. And in all the parallel timelines of all this 104 lives, this is number 104. It's been being pulled. Somebody kills on the back, my right side here, like right here under this bone. I have no idea how you call it. Under the right arm on the back was the knife, because they start to hate you because because you are manipulated totally. You got a contract going and everything, so everything's decided for you. You can't really make decisions in your life because they have to come to you and give um, it's like taxes, but very big part of it. And it's in Israel. It's in Israel. I see a very dry land, rocks everywhere, and I see like a puddle, but it looks like the sea that is dried up or something. And I see dead fish everywhere, dried up sea. But then something happened with the layers, and it's like it moved, and the little bit of water comes, and I see mud and rocks being mixed, and that's when they killed you. It's on the border of 17th, 18th century, in between. And that's when you also got, you can have pains there or something, because definitely the back and the right arm. That's why you have to heal. It looks like triangle like this from the wound on the back. So you froze that car, the one that was posing, masquerading as an angel. I see him in your energy sphere, also on the right, your left. And you're just pulling the strings from the spiders. You put the spiders in some transparent glass bowl. The spiders came just because they let them. They didn't really care. They're one of those from different. You used to come to Earth to observe, and you also used to come to different layers, light layers or densities, to observe different biological and non-biological um, congregations, or how you call them, clusters of different beings. Um, and they're all over the place. We just don't realize how we're surrounded by this AI all over the place. And because you cannot really move in this construction. You cannot see who's behind. And what they did, they just kind of crawled through the tunnels through that portal from behind and started sucking your energy. They're only getting about 9%, really not much. But because the car would not let them get more. Hmm. Keep telling me that I have friends in Andromeda, and you're close to that civilization of souls due to their characteristics. I see number 18 strands of DNA particular, because you're just a segment of your original self, and you just picked yourself to have 18 strands, 16 of which have been blocked in this body by that laser technology. They just look black. I see like little tiny strings of DNA, and they're growing in together, and the ones that are black are kind of separating them in between. It doesn't look, it's not the same like what we used to in the how it looks, how they present it to us, because each and every one has different DNA strands and different configurations. So you're just activating. I see you. First of all, you cut. You made a blade, like a round blade, and you cut that construction and took it off your shoulders. Put it down, which is really interesting. It was metallic metal, and when like steel color, and then when you put it down, it turned into gold. Um, and then you're just covering this wound with your hand on the back. Just holding your hand over and focusing with your mind the energy there, and it's being pulled together energetically. You look, your color is, it's like this, it's like if you mix in peach and purple. It's really hard to explain. This color, I don't even know if it exists. It's something like fluorescent, and it gives you this like an adrenaline rush into your forehead. That's what I feel when I look at this color. Um, it's like you're excited to explore something type feeling. That's your energy color of your energy body. I see you slowly raising your vibration, and I see like when you're raising your vibration from toes to up, from your feet. I see little sparks, like sparks of black. It's contamination of the body, and its contamination is in every cell. It looks like every cell explodes, and from that explosion comes a little black kind of spark. It goes up, and you're like all in sparks. And I see they're just falling off of you, and they're laying down on that golden rectangle that you just took off. It's like they're getting magnetized because it's the same implant system. First, I thought it was some sort of contamination, but it looks like it's just a part of the kind of body takeover or something. It's almost like you're a gate for the portal all your life, and they come and go. They can fly through with their spaceships because the perception of how big or small is really distorted by our head, by our mind. The spaceship can be looking very small, but when you walk in, it can be kilometers long. The same idea. You're like a little hole in the layer, and there are a lot of people who are walking around, and they are open portals too, and that's why a lot of times they see a lot of spaceships every day because of that. Because at some point they just like become super sensitive, and the body always adapts, but the subconscious always tries to show to the body that something is wrong with it. So I see you're getting some little squares, but they're flat. They're not like boxes, they're flat. Mm, you're saying this are the patches of your wounds of the emotional and mental bodies that you have, all the suffering that caused holes in your mental emotional bodies. You patched it up with squares. They look like bronze, uh, thin bronze plates that you put over those holes. Took a lot of them out. And I see just like a pile of stuff in front of you, right at the bottom by your feet and your energy sphere. And you're shining a light. You created, it looks a little bit like flashlight, but it's not. It's it's like a device you created, but it's coming out of your hand. It looks like ring, and from the ring there are different rings coming out, rings of light. It is just shining through your energy bodies re- to cause to stimulate regeneration and just like I see sparks everywhere, but those sparks are different from the ones that were negative, let's say. These are the positive ones that are supposed to stimulate the regeneration of the tissues in the physical body. It goes up, up, up. See the head. And the eyes too, it's almost like you're taking something off this eye area here. It touches the nose too, like this. It's like a sticker or something that was put over. So, because they didn't want you to figure out how you're being used. And you're saying there are a lot of us who sacrificed a part of us. It's like you're saying to me that you're big, but if you condense yourself into small, it becomes a small miniature you of big you. And then, but it's the same thing. It just when you take a squeeze ball, stress ball, and you squeeze it, it's the same ball, just squeezed. And you're saying that's how we are in the squeeze position because we're trying to change up the game of this layer of reality, because in return it would change up everything. It would change the history and it would change the future in the now moment. And right now you're expanding. You sucked all the spiders with a tube, like a vacuum. Now you're opening a portal. It's like a door. It's like a regular rectangular door. You just draw it with your finger and you opened it. And you put all this metal in there. But it's interesting. You create it's like a portal, but it has like a sack on the back. If I see on the back, almost like a black hole that it can contain all this stuff. And you put the vacuum with the spiders in there too. And just your vibration is being raised. So it's like this violet peachy color is getting brighter and brighter. And I don't see any black strands of DNA anymore. I see number 18 on the time. And they're just bright. They're active now. You're saying that I just asked you telepathically why, as you're pushing out that car and standing in his it's holographic box you created for him, but you just pushed him out and closed the portal door. And you said this, the interesting thing is because there are different souls who came at this time. You call it at this time because from your perspective, it's like you didn't really, you come at one point here. And this point, you don't see it in a linear motion. You just see it at one dot, one spot. We came from different experiences and different connections, not only from this universe. You just have a connection with intermediates, and you say in different universes you also have the connection with intermediates. It's just that they're called different way, but they're pretty much the same set of the same characteristics. Because in a big organism, you need each organ to have certain characteristics. For you, um, for you, this is not a natural environment here. It's hard for you to breathe, and because it's hard for you to breathe, that was your weak point from life one that you ended up being here. Um, stuck being stuck in the circle of lives, and because you never felt like you really completed what you wanted to complete. Um, it became very hard because there were more and more star races started coming from the time you came, and those are all malevolent star races. And you said simply because the amount of souls who came back then were much, much less than the amount of malevolent beings who were trying to control the earth. Right now, we're trying to expand the number of the positive ones, and the negative ones are being perished. And that's why we're flipping the page over, and we're flipping. I see it's like you show me, like before you showed me those golden pyramids that are going above the ocean. You're saying something's gonna go cap into the oceans and all the water system. It's gonna flip and it's gonna restructure. And we're gonna see some ancient generation um, beings that are still inhabiting those underwater islands, civilizations. Everything is still alive, nothing is dead. Just in our perception, they're dead. They just shifted into a different dimension. That's why we don't see them with physical eyes. We just see their castles under the water or pyramids, and we think they're empty, but they're not. But when they flip over on the surface, then they'll appear to our eyes. And it's gonna be very strange. It's hard to believe now, but it'll be easy to believe in the future when it comes. You keep showing me those golden pyramids. And the gold, when I touch, it's liquid. It's not solid. It's very funny feeling. It's like a very sleek, nice to touch metal, which you can cause indentations very easily just by touching it. But then I make an imprint with my hand, and then when I take it away, it becomes flat again, like perfectly flat. And that's these are the pyramids that can travel from one density to another without being um, just like spaceships. They're not gonna get distorted or destroyed. And those civilizations can use them as flying objects too. They're designed for anything. Everything is operated by the mind of those civilizations living in there. So I see you. You look very good. Wait, there are some strings. There are 4 clones left back then. It's like they created 4 clones of you. So there are 4 different timelines of that particular royal family back on your life's number 6. 6. And there are 4 different well, they got an agreement from you, which I see you going back to that timeline. Right now I see you with that baby, and you just freeze it and pop it as a balloon. You just put like a balloon over that episode and you popped it. And that's it. It's popped like with a needle, like it's gone. You just change the timeline, but that's your imagination. That's your way to change it. It doesn't matter how you do it, but you change it so they never put any implants into you. you never signed any contracts. You weren't really signing them. You were just agreeing, like saying yes in your mind. That's all they needed from you because they were threatening to you. Um, right now, it's showing me some interesting statues, birds, acorns, flowers, gardens. You said there were like lots of gardens where the deserts are now. Used to be the most beautiful, beautiful like the whole thing was like a huge botanical garden. Was golden palaces, with rivers and clean water you can drink from the river directly. Little streams all over the place. There were no deserts before on Earth. It was all water and pockets of different civilizations. And then they kind of blended them in, and then they started changing the laws of physics. You said that they changed the laws of physics, and in return, the physical power changed, and that's how the very cold places, very dry places have been created. They shook up the whole thing to this point of change. But it's time to return. But to return, he has to return to the very thing, to the original everything. All the laws have to be changed because the laws that act here are artificial laws. It's not how life should be. And they're hiding a lot from us about that. So you're clean. Those clones are non-existent now because you changed the timeline, and you changed the timeline over there where they would take you in between lives. And basically, they would take this holographic image of you each and every time. Was this? It's like a laser needle. It's the only way to explain it. It's just interesting looking device. It's transparent, and I can see the laser coming from it. And it comes from the ceiling, and the ceiling is so bright it's hard to look at it. Okay, I can put the glasses on to look, but it seems like the way how they light up their spaceship inside is because they use the souls like yours to do it. It's not their lighting system. So that's it. I don't see any hybrids. I just saw clones. So you can ask questions if you want. Just walking around, you see.
What would I ask? I'd like to know, like, for what you've seen, could that have caused me to be sick? Like to get
Oh
this
yeah,
for sure,
yeah,
right?
for sure, yeah. Because you had this part missing. So imagine that part didn't have any energy.
Right,
So the body goes into the autoimmune kind of against itself. Why am I missing a part?
right, right. How many lives did you say you saw? 104, 108?
This is number 104.
104. Wow.
18 strands of DNA, yeah.
18 strands of DNA. Yeah, I was so upset to find out I had cancer because we're living in such exciting times. And I wanted to be able to live to see it all, to see what's going to happen, to see, you know, people's reaction. Like most people are so asleep, like there's nobody I can talk to that they think I'm crazy. Like, so
Um,
I just want to see people wake up, and I just would like to live through this time that's coming.
right. Well, that's why we were searching, but you said the golden truth is inside you. Just keep showing me these golden pyramids.
Mm.
I mean, I wish we had them. It seems like that's something you can possibly, like what I'm getting from your subconscious, that just imagine yourself creating out of your own energy this golden pyramid and surround yourself and you're inside. And it doesn't give away energy, but it gives you energy. You understand? Like from
Mm-hmm.
the sides into you. So
Right.
you given into you, but you modify it according to your needs so your body can take what it needs.
Okay. Mm.
Birds, lots of birds. Like literally you're showing me like columns, right, of old ancient buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And I see like a lot of interesting birds with long, beautiful tails and flowers and acorns like everywhere. And there's bright colors like yellow, orange, blue, you know?
Right. So have I lived all my lives here on Earth or no?
Um, so this question is, yeah, you did leave well, this is to 103 lives before this one. This one is 104. Mm, but you also lived everywhere else. It's like your spark went through the fabric of different realities,
Okay.
and but you really your residence, as you're choking here, is at the seventh dimension. The seventh dimension is when you reach a peak of understanding of a lot of things.
Right.
And you're still connected to the third one because you truly understand that the third one helped you to understand things. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why a lot of souls that you say come from sevens to help in the third, as if they were understanding that they're more and it just, you know what, they're not you're not here to pressure with knowledge others. You're here to make it available by just being here, because it's just clusters of energy are
Right.
shining that creating this electromagnetic field, and each pore of this field is filled with information. It's like we're creating like you got hundreds of websites around you, and each and every soul, if needs some information, can reach to this website and read for herself the certain information. It happens at subconscious level. You don't really see it and understand it with your mind. But at the same time, there's a lot of AI generated websites also at the energetic level that can fill you up with the wrong information.
Right.
And that's exactly what's happening. It's like a fight in between good and evil, you know,
Right.
duality thing.
Mm.
But we see an escalation right now. It's really, it's like, you know, the evil knows it has to go,
Mm-hmm.
but it's created a pocket of time, of physical time, to get the last harvest of souls.
Mm.
And that's why, you know, there's going to be quite different pockets of different events happening. Um, some major, some much smaller, but one after another because everybody's getting kind of like tested by evil and good. Are you gonna be on good side or on
Hmm.
evil side? You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
that's the time right now.
Yeah.
So,
Um, well, I don't think there's anything else. I'd like to ask you, would you be able to connect with my dog? His name is
I,
Benjamin.
I, I see long ears like down.
Yeah, he whines at night, and I don't know what's wrong with him. Like sometimes he'll cry, and what am I missing? What am I just don't know what's wrong with him or what he's trying to tell me.
The world is changing, going to change. Drastic changes are coming. So he's staying.
Really?
Yeah. It's he's feeling, we call it atmospheric changes.
Mm-hmm.
His physical body feels it. There's something's going to be happening with the atmosphere, crazy things. Um, at a soul level, he's excited to see it, but at a physical level, it's almost like us seeing dreams of, tornadoes or huge
Mm-hmm.
waves coming. That's what he's trying to tell you.
Oh, that is so
But
cool.
but the thing is, if you are tested with yeah, in terms of your health, right? How strong you are to get over it, then other people are going to be tested by disasters. Other people are going to be tested by war. There's like everybody's getting tested. Other people are getting tested by, oh, look, all my friends are actually false friends. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like a slap into your face, and like you go through realization periods when
Mm-hmm.
you don't even feel like talking to anybody because you understand the whole world is false and they believe in false things.
Absolutely. Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
And that this are just trial times like that. It's just like you to be truthful to yourself, and can you actually turn off everything but turn on your inner knowledge, and for a few days not even listen to any sources of information but only to you?
Mm-hmm.
Because basically what people are, they repeat everything they hear everywhere around or trusty
Yes.
sources, and they
Yes.
program themselves that way.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
what if you tried not to do it? It doesn't matter if you consider these truthful sources that you listen to, but they can still be very much propaganda or influenced by somebody,
Right.
because there's a fight going on for people who believe in this and that. But the truth is, we're all so different,
Mm-hmm.
and every single event has so many explanations, and each explanation, according to each different individual soul, is totally different. Like you can't just, and when they try to build a certain links of one chain logically, that already means that something's wrong with it, that they're trying to make you believe into something. It
Mm-hmm.
becomes like egregore machine, and the more people connect to it, the more people start believing in it,
Mm-hmm.
and they push this one particular point of view, and they're just like, once again, it's totally wrong. Cannot be one single point of view.
Right. Right.
Uh, and people are starting to understand more and more. Some people even think that you're telling me some people think that it's not even worse um, connecting.
Yeah.
because everything, every single cell or room. So this, how I see this, like layer we're in, it's composed of different cubes or rooms of holographic realities, right?
Mm-hmm.
This cube is mass media. This cube is, YouTube, was all this, or this cube is this particular movement or that particular movement. Different groups of people, different whatever countries, doesn't matter. Each has a cube of something, ideology or understanding or whatever. And then the idea is to be above the cubes. But each cube has truth and non-truth. Absolutely every cube. Even if we believe that history is all distorted, there's still 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
you can get information from the news that would be truthful too. But
Right.
but people become very kind of like, no, I'm just gonna push it away. But your subconscious is saying, stay like a cloud above the layer. It's like when I see you're showing me a picture of an airplane and you're flying above the clouds, and clouds are all the clusters of information and just fly over it. The same thing with your own body. Trust your own feeling. Because when your feeling is something's wrong here, rather than what they're telling me, maybe they're
Right.
telling you and the other part is wrong, but you feel, no, no, it's this one. You know, the same idea like teaching, feeling what you need to eat, and you eat that despite all the perfect models of diets and what
Right.
your body needs. The same idea, kind of.
I just came back from Mexico. I went to, are you familiar with the Gerson Institute? Gerson Clinic?
Mm-mm, no.
Well, it's been there. I think they put it in Mexico about 2000, the year 2000, and it's basically healthy eating, all organic, no meat. So I'm doing that diet, but I'm struggling on it. I'm struggling. I'm missing like a little sugar. um, but is that quite imperative for me to heal, or is it not? To stay on a strict diet?
If you just ate only, it's interesting because you showed me. It's like your soul is showing me like a big plate of mangoes, like
Mm-hmm.
literally what cut. Um, if you just ate veggies and fruit, that would be fast forward the cycle of regeneration.
It would.
Yeah, because it's fresh. It's life energy. Life energy gets absorbed quickly and heals quickly. It just kind of fills it in. If your cell is like dried out
Right.
because the energy was taken out, you put the good energy in. It's the same with homeopathic remedies or
Right.
herbs,
Right.
or even like that's from me example. Like if I feel sick, I actually exercise more when I feel sick and go and run outside and just pretend I'm not sick, you know,
Yeah.
because you can trick your body, you can trick your mind. You can just not go into this mode, refuse to be sick.
Right.
So, but
I do lots of juicing too.
yeah. Well, I see pineapple, I see celery, I see all kinds of, I see the whole tray of stuff. But what surprised me is I mostly see fruit. I seriously like mostly I see papaya, I see all kinds of fruit.
I love fruit. I've never been a huge vegetable person.
Yeah, because your vegetable is like little tiny plate, not that there's a huge tray of fruit. And because I'm also my conscious mind is also on, I'm thinking like, because subconscious. subconsciously people usually show me mostly vegetables, but in your case, it's mostly fruit.
Mostly fruit.
Then
Yeah.
it's gonna be healing for you because I also had actually my friend she got pretty sick, but for a week she was only eating fruit and she
Hmm.
recovered. Like
Wow.
it was like a medical miracle this you know. But yeah, but she felt that way. She felt only fruit. So it depends, I guess. For me, I'm the opposite. I can pass on fruit, but eat only veggies.
Oh,
But
is that right?
for you, it's the bright colors that yellow, orange.
Yellow, orange.
No, that's what I see.
Okay. Hmm.
And you showed me those before. Do you remember where it was?
Hmm.
Yeah, but Mexico is like for you is just the land of this golden energy, golden pyramids, golden energy.
Hmm. Yeah, I also had a strange experience when I was there. We had left the clinic one day and we were just walking around. I was in the clinic. I was a patient there for about 2 weeks, and one we took walks quite daily. And I remember we stopped by the store, and I was waiting outside the store for somebody, and this guy pulled up and he was sitting he got back in his car and he was there, looked like his wife in the car too, and he started waving to me. And I was looking around to see who he was waving at, and then he took down his mask and he waved again. So I just waved at him. I thought, he must think I'm somebody I'm not. But anyway, he left, and then a girl pulled up in a truck, and then she was just chatting. It was just the strangest. I just left there thinking, what? Like, it was just very weird to have these strangers just, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, because you're like a tree that connects to its soil, original soil. You know, if a tree taken out of where it was growing, it can, dry up.
Hmm.
It cannot take the soil, the new place. And for you, this is like your connect to the good lives you had, to some positive experiences in terms of how you felt